Hey, so feeling impish. Summer is here. Heat is on the horizon. Oh, hell. I'm a little disappointed. I was listening to my Novara Media chaps in England, chaps and women yesterday. Oh dear. A departure, a parting of the ways, which makes life interesting. When you start speaking about Jonathan Haidt is brilliant, there's not much I can do. Blaming of the iPhone. Quote, it's just evil. Instagram is just evil. That's fair if that is how you solve problems. Find the evil at its cost. The Western world has been doing this for about 1,500 years, finding evil at its root, and has done absolutely nothing to change anything. As perspective, for the Nazis, the evil was the radio. For the whole lot of fascists of the early middle 20th century, the radio, perhaps the newspaper, but mostly the collective unconscious. Tobacco addiction started as soon as Sir Walter Raleigh got it from America in the 17th century. Fashion magazines started causing younger, and fashion as a thing, started causing young girls suicide in the late 19th century. And any fool can point out that these addictions and disorders dominate in affluent Western societies. I don't care if it's Eastern. We can say Japanese is an affluent Western society. It's in the East. The tools of your culture have just progressed, and the babbling manic personality has gone along for the ride. I realized yesterday I didn't just disagree with Derek Thompson and his progressive capitalism theory, all about inventing housing. I wouldn't last an hour in unrooted manic company. Metrosexual is no sex at all. It is just absence of inner resistance, absence of the great pagan thump, the earthquake that finally took Oedipus to the underworld at Sunion. To watch Adolescence, the TV show, and blame the internet while the program shows one 4 hours of human beings dealing or not with each other but never dealing with themselves is almost farcical, satirical. There are lots of lovely hints, guys. Gasps and survivals, the cop's son, the sister, the radiant mum, the glorious black girl who's having none of it. Maybe the men need therapy is what we've come up with on the talk shows. They need a month or two of stoned, the separation from the rigidities we have chosen, the pristine prison of Novara Haidt Zuckerberg. There is a great Novara Haidt Zuckerberg assumption that dominates us. The human is a weak and lonely animal susceptible to evildoers, and their singular solution is to ban stuff, to limit and proscribe. I'm sorry, the human is a weak and lonely what? You might be. So silly, go ahead. No phone at the dinner table is like no sex till married. Bob Dylan listened to blues and rock and roll on AM radio in the 1950s. Some people thought that was evil stuff. It wasn't available locally. Is Jonathan Haidt so stupid he doesn't know that much that we need is not available locally? With all those degrees and best-selling books, a tangent. When Timothy Snyder is introduced as an author of many bestsellers on authoritarianism, I know immediately I don't need to hear him. Reflecting what we already know and spend money to affirm? Parenthesis, I tried, he delivered, cliche on demand. Maybe Putin is putting iPhones on our shelves. End parenthesis. The solution to the drug scourge in North America is to demonize and shoot the suppliers. This is a metaphor. Find God and resist alcohol, anything but look at the fantasy and superficiality of American materialistic culture. Go, and change deeper down. That inability is where fascism grows from, Tim. Edward Bernays made a lot of money out of the pallid culture. A descendant was asked why he based in America, and she replied cheerily, well, they are the saddest people in the world. Tobacco and cocaine were used for eons as ritual drugs. In London in the 1980s, I did cocaine once a month. Not regularly, but that's how available it was. Some years after, an American friend asked me if I wanted to snort some. It had been at least a decade, as I said, sure. We were at a party after a performance of Twelfth Night. We did 2 lines, one per nostril in the dressing room, and went off dancing. Half an hour later, he said, "More?" Okay. I was fine then, and for the night I had doubled my London dose. Half an hour later, more. Half an hour again, more. At that rate, addiction seems inevitable and soon. The Novara crew, the Height crew, I would guess might not stop. Hence their take on evil. Zuck and his AI for lonely ones might think about the vast value of solitude. Tough as his day seems extrovert heavy, solitude especially for children and adolescents. A state our modern culture trusts exclusively the extrovert. They seem, this community, to have not a whit of wisdom that take the young person on inner quests. No walkabouts, exactly, no inner life at all. What are you producing? What are your grades? The body of the lad in adolescence had experienced little of the dance of Zulu boys his age. Liverpool has no such horizon. We humans do. Liverpool has it. Bass. Innate screaming for time and right, R-I-T-E. The Anglo-Saxons of weird, songlines of Australia, the mysteries of Eleusis. There are lots of options out there to be tried, like old men flying to spots in the Andes to take ayahuasca might consider how useful LSD would be to the girl's psyche. I know you are afraid, but they're not yours, these children. They are their own. Whatever you ignored in your blessed state cannot be fixed in them. You got to do it. We hate the child's psyche and depart from it as soon as we can. I have taken to distinguishing the TV program Adolescence from what I call the blessed state. I was very lucky to do Adolescence fully. It was tough. It was telling mom and the rest to back off at 14. A particularly blessed year. Novara haters, you might consider the boys dropping into internet war games as a manifestation of something. What have boys been doing for thousands of years before the cold, flat colors of civilization sent them to school in uniforms? I still feel the effects of the movie Zulu. I saw it about a month ago. Such a stark impression, the scrutinizing of white men, interacting, bickering, jostling, class strife, drooling at the one woman. We watch and we smile, but I was unprepared for the sound of the Zulu. Totally unexamined, as if the iPhone of the day, the movie camera, could not penetrate. That song and the dance and the charge. Before I blame the iPhone, I'd study up on the civilization that built it. That's where the blame lies. It has been coming for 1,000 years. Remember, Hitler's evil tool was the radio. I am not an anthropologist changing a light bulb. We can do it now, in our midst. The last and lasting reach was the 60s. Young people, which musicians at Woodstock were even 30? Coming out of that great suit and tie post-war, that crew-cut Cadillac, chicken in every pot, mom behind every stove world burst. Then punk, hip-hop, all demonized by the hate Novaras, I'm sure. You cannot think your way through. You have to dance your way through. Body and soul. Watching Pete Townsend at Woodstock. Pure Zulu.